constantly getting new creatures when the monsterverse doesn't know what to do with new kaiju, from the skull crawlers to the giant hawk to Kamazots. Unless you're an alpha titan, you do not want to step foot on this island. From the sword, that being said, it's no new challenger to the channel. From the brute wyvern that is the Devil Joe, to the PPDC's Gypsy Danger, to the pale horse that is the Dominus Rex, and even Toho's own King Kong. Out of all of these, only Gypsy Danger's made it through, thanks to his combat skills, along with his plasma cannon, not only being incredibly powerful, but blindingly bright. He is the only character that has made it out of this hellscape here on this channel. But today, it sees a new challenger, the Red Death, one of How to Train Your Dragon's most powerful beings. From being able to mind control dragons at will, to being able to level entire mountains just by flying into them. She is an absolute unit, and there's a reason that even the Night Fury fears her call. Hello everyone, I'm your host Goji Guy, and today we're taking How to Train Your Dragon's most ferocious dragon, that being the Red Death, and shipping her off to the place of no return. Will she ignite the island into flames, or will she be consumed by its power? Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content like this in your inbox, and without further ado, let's get cooking. Hello everyone, again, I'm your host Goji Guy, and today we're taking one of the top dragons and seeing if she can survive Skull Island. In this video, as always, we need to cover all of the Red Death's info, that being on-screen feats, and statements that are reasonably usable, given said on-screen feats making them so. After that, we'll go over a bracket of kaiju and beasts that she'll be facing off against. Once all of that is in place, we'll cover how each fight would go, and figure out where she lands in terms of power on the island. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and start with her feats. As far as strength goes, she's able to pretty easily break through her volcanic mountain just by standing up. Granted, it was hollowed out, but it was still a great feat. She's able to easily bite through and destroy the Vikings' heavy weaponry, such as their catapults, and is able to ram through giant rock formations. As far as statements go, she's able to bash through entire mountains from flying full speed, and give one shown on screen, I believe it. Now, speaking of speed, she's actually surprisingly fast, being able to keep up with the speed in Toothless through the air, while later Toothless being able to fly at supersonic speeds with ease. As far as her durability goes, she's able to break through her mountain, she's unbothered by catapult fire, no sells Toothless's plasma blast to the back of the head, she also takes a plasma blast straight to the mouth, and it's more or less unbothered, and it's able to ram through rock pillars at sea. It really just seems that her thin wings are the one part of her body that's a liability. Rip those and she can't lift off. And finally, abilities. Now, as far as these go, she really only has 3. Those being she has no blind spots, which is iffy, but is what it is, fire breath, and homing signals. Though we can really only use the no blind spots and fire breath, as the homing signals only work on dragons from her world, so it's like trying to use the Infinity Stones in a different universe. They have no effect. And, well, that's pretty much it. Let's move on to her bracket. And due to Skull Island's like 1,000+ monsters, we always try to make a new bracket for each combatant, trying to make a realistic battle bracket for who they would face off against given their size and magnitude of power. The Red Death would not be fighting a Spore Mantis for territory, so let's make her bracket, shall we? The Red Death's bracket is the Skull Devil, the Killer Chameleon, the Giant Hawk, the Kraken, Yugoth, Kamazots, and finally, a fight like this, the Red Death naturally has the advantage, not only having long-range weaponry, that being her fire, but also has the ability to fly and stay in the sky, while Ramrak is stuck on the between the terrain advantage. Along with the Red Death having one of the only 2 weaknesses Skullcrawlers have, the Red Death moves on with no difficulty. Next up is the Killer Chameleon. Now, if you guys are returning viewers, you would know I love these guys to death, but do they have what it takes to take down the Red Death? Well, the Killer Chameleons are a huge amount of power from the Skullcrawlers. For a general idea, it would likely take these guys. Now, why is that? Hey, I'm recording Goji Guy here. I'm recording and editing this on my birthday, and my buddy of mine picked up, what is this? Return to Skull Island, issue 3. The Killer Chameleons were nerfed, dude. They take like a gunshot to the mouth and... Ignore that. Firstly, these guys are insanely fast. While there is no given speed, I would say that in a straight line, they clearly keep up with the Red Death for some time. Not to mention their natural agility given the fact that they're chameleons. When it comes to strength, they can subdue Kong for a brief moment, but overall can't outdo him. Where they really shine though is durability and endurance. I'm telling you guys, if a Killer Chameleon were to become Titan class, they would be the strongest in the verse. These guys withstand giant boulders being dropped on them, falling from thousands of meters in the sky. Godzilla can't say the same. Being impaled, tanking blow after blow from Kong, and to put them down, it literally took the breaking of a mountain wall to put it down. These guys can tank hit after hit for hours. Along with that, they're able to shoot their tongues incredibly far. They can climb on walls given the fact that, you know, they're chameleons. And again, given they're chameleons, they can of course camouflage. So how would this fight go? Well, already, the Red Death is almost matched in durability and speed, though she does take the edge on both. The main issue is that she loses strength. One of the issues with the How to Train Your Dragon verse is that for whatever reason, the dragons are super lightweight. So going forward, the Red Death will need to make up for this weight difference with her skill. But even with the chameleon's strength, as much as I'd love to glaze these guys, I don't see a way for them to take her out. Sure, one could bite, but that's really about it. While the Red Death could just cook one alive with her fire. So while it would be difficult due to their speed, I do see the Red Death winning this like 9 times times out of 10. Next up is the giant hawk, who as of writing this, has passed away. Make sure to leave your condolences in the comments. We miss you, buddy. With his memory in mind, how would he stack up against the queen of the dragons? Well, the hawk is Kong's right-hand bird, being his DoorDash, if you will. Besides Kong himself, the hawk is really only challenged on land by the chameleons, at least at the time of the show's release. Yugoth is a different story. When it comes to strength, there really isn't much, but given the hawk can still fly fine, even when a killer chameleon is holding on is mad impressive. For speed, these guys are fast, being able to traverse the entirety of Skull Island in a couple minutes. For durability, we really don't know. It's really never challenged other than the chameleons, which really didn't last that long. But where the hawk really shines is his IQ and battle IQ. Firstly, being a hawk, he is a super skilled hunter, being able to grab tiny foes and take on larger ones. And when it comes to general IQ, he's been trained by Kong and can seemingly communicate with him non-verbally. They can pick up on facial expressions, and given it's a hawk in general, it naturally has those predator skills. So how would this fight go? A fight between these two would be insane. The giant hawk takes speed and strength. Being able to lift the chameleon at a young age means the older one would ragdoll the Red Death despite the size difference. Which, quick off topic, I'm surprised it's still a factor in many people's minds. Size doesn't mean anything in battle. The only metric of the body, for example, Showa Godzilla would beat the brakes off a Final Wars Godzilla, despite him being half the size. So just know that. Moving on. While the giant hawk does take strength and speed, due to the lack of feats, the Red Death does still take durability. Now this fight is close. The giant hawk could land some slashes on the Red Death wings and then proceed to ground her, possibly killing her with a fall. But the Red Death's fire is so strong, it would cook the giant hawk instantly. Overall, the hawk is more skilled. I do see the Red Death moving on with high difficulty. The moment the Red Death lands the fire blast on the hawk goes down. Now moving on to the oceans, an entirely new domain for the Red Death. Now, it isn't all that bad news, as she is closely related to the Purple Death, one of, if not the strongest dragons in the verse, and easily the strongest water-based dragon. So going into the water is no bad news, especially when she can find Titanic Creations' new aquatic Gorgo figure. Boom! Baited into a sponsorship. Rah! Today's video is brought to you by Titanic Creations. They've sponsored a few videos now, and when they offered to send this guy my way, I couldn't say no. Titanic, at least in my opinion, is one of the best figure makers out there, making figures for super kaiju fans like myself, having some insane names in their ranks, like Paul Gasari, the North Korean kaiju, which I have a short on him if you want more info, or Yongari, South Korea's own take of the big kaiju genre. But today we're here to show off the British one, making their very own version of Gorgo. We've got Aquatic Gorgo, with incredible articulation and a phenomenal sculpt. Here, let me put you guys on. As a channel that started off as a figure channel, my fellow collectors will love this. Ready? It has a toe crunch! This is one of the smoothest figures I own, with an incredible paint job that just grabs your eye when walking by. This figure is genuinely amazing. If it interests you or anything else I've mentioned, go to TitanicCreations.com or click on the first link in the description. Thank you, Titanic, for sponsoring this video. Oh, and to answer all your questions, Gorgo slams. From being able to withstand a volcanic eruption to the face, then went as far as making a new island, she bodies the Red Death. But how about the Kraken? The Kraken, as you see on both land and in water, is able to restrain Kong. Kong, at this point, being just below his GVK counterpart in terms of power. So not Kingdom Kong, but around GVK strength. And yes, Kingdom Kong is stronger than GVK Kong. Share the video every time I say Kong, huh? So she easily takes strength. She likely also takes speed, at least underwater, but durability is where it's odd. She's able to take punches to the face, but she does get impaled by a boat, so it's iffy. So how will this fight play out? Well, I'm gonna cut to the chase. The Kraken's winning. Between being much stronger and the Red Death, while likely being good underwater, being pinned against the freaking Kraken of all kaiju, yeah, she's cooked. Not to mention, she really doesn't have any good sharp attacks. While her bites would be effective, she can only bite so deep. So overall, I would say the Kraken moves on just thanks to her sheer strength, not to mention her electricity abilities. And even if she were to move on to the next fight, under the notion that this is unfair due to being underwater, she is not beating Yugoth. Dude had killer chameleons running in fear just from walking around. So overall, she does pretty well, clearing past all the super fauna, but not making it to Titan level. In terms of actual survivability, she would survive the island quite well, natural predators. So overall, Skull Island is now 4-1. Only the PPDC's Gypsy Danger having cleared at this point. And now it's really due to sheer luck. But what do you all think? Should she have stopped sooner, or have made it even further? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to subscribe, and let me know if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I have another Skull Island video planned. If you did enjoy this and want to see more like this, then check out King Ghidorah and How to Train Your Dragon, or Toothless in the Hollow Earth. But with all that out of the way, I'm out. As like I said, I'm recording and editing this on my birthday, and I have a dinner to catch. But as always, keep collecting. Koji Guy out. See ya.